we have a binary operation defined by a certain property, right? So this is a property that says that m operation m that is equal to m plus n equal to 10, right? So don't let these variables worry you, right? I'm about to explain this thing into a simple scenario, so make sure that you stay here to the end. So we are defining the operation on a set for R, right? So this is where we are picking our members from. That is what it means. And this operation is how the two people are combined in what in this set, right? So let's say assuming this is a house, we have members for in the house, right? So if you have a house, you have a house here, you have, of course, the house contains some members. So if there are members in this house, so where we are picking the members is exactly what we are calling what they are. Right now, if you pick them, what are you going to do with them? So they said that if you pick them, you want to combine them. Of course, this is there. We are picking only two people, right? So two people at a time. So this is the first person here, and then this is the second person. So if you want to combine these people, this is how I'm going to combine them. So I'll combine them by picking the first person plus or the second person as well as all. Then you add 10 to that. It's okay. This is just a certain property. Assuming that you want to qualify for a certain group. It's okay. So this is the lay down procedure for you to go through. Now, at the end of this thing, then we have been asked to find what the identity element out of what that group, as well as what the inverse of this one, and then this person out of what out of the group. So let's see how to do that in the next section. So our first step here, or our first question, or the task here, is to determine the identity element from this house, right? From this house. So we have what? So we can say that let identity, right? The word here, normally what we use that we use E to represent that. So we are going to say that let E represent the what the identity what element, right? So the identity element. Is that okay? So the identity what element. So maybe you can use some different variable, but mostly what we use is letter A. That sounds just like identity, right? So identity element. Okay, now you have to know this thing. For you to determine the identity element, there are many people in this house. Is that okay? For you to determine the identity, who exactly is that identity element, or who is that person by name or identity element, is that if you pick anybody, so let's say M. The reason I'm using M here is that you already have M here, right? So because we are told that these two people, of course, we have some two people from the house, so that is the M and the N. So these two guys are coming from the house, right? Okay. Now, if I pick M and I combine that with the operation given to me, right, with the E, is that okay? Which is the identity. So I'm going to have that same one, the same person. This is the property. This is the key that you must know before what you can proceed in solving what any identity element. Is that okay? So this is what we are looking for. What it means is that if, of course, the operation says that if you are picking any two people here, this is how I should combine them. Right, this is how I should combine them. So if you pick any person, so these are also two people from the group. So I have one person here. This is the E, the identity element, which I don't know yet. So if you combine you and the identity element, all that they are saying that you must be the same person. There's no change in value here. So how do you do that? So you just need to manipulate for your calculation. So here we know that if you want to combine two people here, this is how you should combine them. So the first person here, which is our M, of course, and then plus up this M. Remember, this is what I'm combining, right? So remember plus what the second person, which is the E identity element, and then say you should add 10 to that, right? So this is what you are having. Then everything should be equal to the same person that you are combining the identity with. So of course here is M, right? So if in case this letter change here, so let's say assuming you have A and then combine different operation, right? So this is a different operation. Let's say E. So this should be the definition. Is that okay? So if you want to combine this one with the same operation that we are using here, right? So the same this operation. So that should start with the A plus what the second person, which is the E, and then plus 10 equal to A. The same thing. So don't let the letters so confuse. All that matters is that you must understand exactly what we are doing. Is that okay? So here you have to do some simple algebra calculations here. So this is what we are looking for, right? So we are looking for the identity element, which will represent that by what? By E. So here you can take subtract it by M and then subtract it by 10, and then you do the same thing on the right hand side. So you are going to have E equal to our M here, and then minus what? Minus M, and then what? Minus what? Minus 10, right? Okay, so if you solve for this one, so you should have your E to be equal to -10. So this is the identity element in this house, right? So what is the house? Or maybe the set here, the set R. So the identity element in this house, the set R here, based on this operation here, is exactly -10. So this is all simple. You should find the identity. So now let's see how to find the inverse of what? A particular person in the house. So a particular person in the set here. So what they are asking us to find is we should find the inverse of 2 as well as -5. That is what they're asking us to find the inverse of. Now, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you want to see things like this. Comment down below if you have any issue. Okay. Since we don't know the identity or the inverse element here, right? So if you don't know the inverse, this is, or you are done with the identity. So you want to find the inverse of some two people from the group. So we don't know the inverse of them, right? So we can say that always, if you don't know something, you can say that let M inverse. So this letter that I'm picking here comes from what they have given me, right? So we already know that this guy and then this guy are in the group. Is that okay? So maybe someone can choose to go for the N. Nobody cares about that. All that matters is that if you are using a different person, so what I mean by a different person, if you are using a different what variables, right, apart from the one given to you, you have to say that they are coming from what the set. It's very, very important. They are coming from this house, right? You don't want to pick anybody from anywhere. So if I say let M inverse, right? So this is just the notation, right? So M inverse, be what? Be the inverse of the inverse the inverse element or person for what? For M, or maybe of M, right? So look, the definition is very, very important. So consider this one be the inverse element of for M, not for the whole house. So the inverse is for just one person, right? One particular number. Is that okay? So that number here is what? It's just the M. Now, if that happens, so this is the key that you have to pay a close attention to. If you combine you and the what together with the operation and your what your inverse, right? You and your inverse, let's say you and your shadow, right? That should give me the identity element. All right, so this is the key, right? This is the lay down procedure. Is that okay? This is the lay down procedure. You must know this thing before you can find any inverse of any element, right? So if you combine you together with your inverse, that should give me the identity. So it's your duty to know the identity first before you can find the inverse of element. If that is not given, you just, of course, you know what to do. You have to represent that by what? Just any variable. So let's combine these two people here. So how are we going to combine it? We combine this thing by the operation given to us. That says that the first person, which is the M here, plus what the second person, which is the M inverse, and then plus 10, right? So this is how we are combining two people. That should be equal to their identity. We know the identity to be what? -10 in this case, right? So -10. So you add a -10. So what are we looking for? We are looking for what? The M inverse. Now the question says that we should find the inverse of a particular person. So what are those people? We have the 2 and -5. So let's deal with the 2 first. So for you to find the negatives of the 2, that means that we are finding the negative for the inverse of what? 2, right? Which is the M here. So we are finding the inverse of 2. So that is just of 2 here. Our M here is just the 2 and then plus of negative M inverse, which we don't know. So -2 inverse. Someone can say -2 inverse. That is okay. So maybe here we want to limit that to the negative M inverse, then plus or plus 10. That should be equal to -10. Is that okay? What are we looking for? We are looking for this one. So we can, yes, we give you this one plus or plus or plus. So that should be equal to -10. All right. So -10 here. So what are we doing? You are looking for this what? M inverse. So M inverse here. So you subtract 2 from, you subtract derived from both sides of the equation. That should be a -10, then minus, so that should be equal to -2. Is that okay? So the inverse of 2 here is exactly what? -2. Find the values of this one. -5. The inverse of -5 in the comment section. Give me your answer in the comment section. If you've gained some value from this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more content like this.